Hello, it's Alicia. Welcome back. Welcome back to me. It's been a long time. This video is going to be me getting ready, putting on my makeup for the day. I've already been out of the house and I came back. Ooh, I wonder if this is even going to work. My battery on my laptop is dying rapidly and I don't think I have a charger up here. So I'm going to try and go pretty quickly, but I have been really overwhelmed this week. And so I'm going to just talk for a minute about my part-time job that I have in addition to my full-time job as a PhD student at the University of Florida. So I'm disappointed today because I went for a follow-up doctor's appointment today. It was supposed to be this morning at 9:30, according to me only, and not according to my doctor. According to my doctor, my appointment was Monday at 9:30. So right now I'm experiencing a lot of frustration with myself that I do not have my shit together. My shit is distributed all over the world and it's not cohesive and it's not organized. It's disorganized and frustrating because I've actually been working really, really hard lately in multiple domains of my life. And so sometimes I think it's difficult, maybe just for my generation, maybe not, maybe for everybody, but sometimes you kind of feel like if you're working hard, you should be seeing positive results and you should be feeling pretty good and you shouldn't be quite so stressed because, working hard usually means you're accomplishing things. And I feel like currently I am not experiencing a feeling of, oh, I'm working hard, so I'm getting good results. I have the feeling that I'm working really hard, but I'm not feeling appreciative of my progress, nor am I feeling appreciated externally. And so those are, sort of a few separate, those are separate issues. Whether I'm appreciating myself is a different issue to whether I feel that the hard work I am putting in is being appreciated by other, external sources. I'm going to try and keep my makeup pretty simple because rather than spending time doing it, today I actually do want to just, get it on, go downstairs, and feel, a little bit more together. So, what I'm putting on my face is probably going to be very interesting. So yeah, if you've watched my channel or you know me in real life, I am, I'm into several different things. I've got several different things in my life that I'm pretty passionate about. Makeup is one of them. And in the year 2020, I have committed to not spending money on makeup because obviously I already have a ton and I don't need more. And the makeup that I do have is beautiful. I love the stuff that I have. And I was just, when I buy makeup to have for myself, just to, because I see something beautiful or inspiring, it's not necessarily the case that feeling of good happiness from getting a makeup item that I like outweighs the fact that I am in debt. As a doctoral student, I get a stipend. I work 20 hours a week for my department or for the university, and in return they pay my tuition and I get a stipend on top of that to cover, just my rent and my food and my parking pass on campus, things like that. So getting a PhD is a full-time job, and that it's, typically more than full-time because you don't just get up at, 8 or 7 and work until 5 and then you're done. I get up and I just kind of continuously work throughout the day and go to classes, do homework. Then I also try to do my lab stuff. Yesterday I had a student here. She was so sweet and I believe she was really appreciative of the time. But she was here yesterday for 3 hours and I was helping her with a project, and that's just the kind of thing that my schedule allows for. I want to meet with people to talk about science and make sure they understand and help me to understand more. So she got here around 3:30 and she left at like 6:30. So it's not a typical 9 to 5 desk job. It's like, go to campus and work from 9 to 5 and then come home, vegetate for maybe like 30 minutes, an hour, and then go right back to doing more projects, right? There's always something to do. So, aside from my school, I also, like I said, I'm in debt. I have student loan debt, which is something I'm a little bit more comfortable with just because I am still a student. And then I also have credit card debt from basically having some time that was pretty unproductive where I didn't do like a part-time job or anything. Before I started as a PhD student, I was making like $48,000 a year. And then when you start as a doc student, it's closer to like your stipend is maybe like $20,000 to $25,000 a year. So it's not exactly a 50% pay cut, but it's a definite significant pay cut. So it's this adjustment that you might not think about or have prepared for with savings. And I actually, this past year in 2019, I had some investments that I actually dedicated to an emergency that happened. So the savings that I have is even less now than it was before. And I'm now in my third year of my PhD. So that's, this is now year 3 of making, less than $25,000 a year. I still have to pay to live. I adopted Cam back when I had a full-time job. So, I still have to pay vet bills and I still have to, whatever. I have no idea why I'm talking about expenses. Everyone has expenses. But the whole, I guess, point of my expenses is that in addition to doing my PhD work, where, I do schoolwork, I take 9 credit hours a semester, and I do 20 hours of lab work, at least each week, which is just, work on my research and things like that. And then on top of that, because I have debt, I have started several part-time jobs. And I did record a video where I was really exhausted, like I look like absolute butt. And I was talking about, what my part-time jobs were. And I'm just going to briefly go over them again right now because I don't think that video is ever going to see the light of day. So what I do in addition to, my school is I have started a reselling business for myself. I started it in August of 2019, sort of on a whim. And I have now grown that commitment and I work on it every single day throughout the day. I try really hard to multitask and work on, my main priority is school, right? Like my main priority is my research, my learning, making sure that I meet my obligations for school. And then after that, and any free time I have, I am working on my reselling business. And I would like to share with you guys what my inventory looks like. I would like to share with you guys like all of the challenges that I've encountered, so I can, if you are interested in doing it yourself, I can explain to you things that I did wrong that you could avoid and, do a better job than I did, because I have certainly learned from a lot of mistakes, and that's great, but if you could also learn from them too, that would be cool. So yeah, I sell on 2 platforms. One of them is called Mercari, and the other one is called Poshmark. And we need bronzer. I feel like we need bronzer. And I sell new and used clothing and accessories, and I have some books for sale. They haven't sold yet. I've got some movies for sale. I've got a whole range of stuff that I'm selling. It includes things from my personal collection that, like, for example, my makeup. there's brand new makeup that I have that I just don't use anymore. And there are powder products like this. This is the Jouer blush palette. But like I've got other blush palettes that can actually be sanitized. I use something like this. This is like a disinfecting spray. It's just, got stuff to kill germs in it. I'll spritz over my palettes and then I can sell those to people who, can't afford it full price but would like to get it for a discount. So it's a combination of selling things that I already had in my collection, I had no intention of reselling, and things that I purchased specifically to resell. So what I do is I photograph and I take measurements of. Sorry, I'm trying to go quick. I see my battery is oh, you have 7 minutes left. Thanks. I have to photograph and take measurements and do descriptions. It's very similar to selling on eBay. So if you're confused about okay, what's Poshmark, what's Mercari, most people I think are pretty familiar with what eBay is. And you know that eBay has options to either sell items in an auction or with a buy it now feature. And so what I do is a lot more like the buy it now component of eBay, if you're more familiar with that. So, I spend time answering people's questions, taking measurements. It does take a really long time to do the photography and create the listings that have searchable terms and are, descriptive of what the item is so that people can hopefully find what they're looking for and want to actually buy it. You can't just put no effort in. It's basically running a storefront. So you're sort of crafting an image for your business. And I do that. I spend time doing that. Sometimes while I'm listening to lectures, I will do some photography and listing, or I'll do my cross listing between my platforms, which is basically where you just take an item that you have for sale on one platform and you list it to the other site as well. It basically just gets you access to people who are searching for items on multiple platforms. So, the people who are on the platform Mercari might not also be on Poshmark. So it's just a way to try to reach more customers. And then, of course, when you make sales on one platform versus the other, you have to make sure to remove the listing from the other one. Shipping, I have all of my inventory downstairs, and I spend time packing items, printing shipping labels, and, going to mail things out at the post office or at FedEx, depending on the weight of the item. And it's definitely, it keeps me really busy. And very similarly to the way a PhD is not just a job where you show up, you work for, 6 to 10 hours, and then you clock out and go home. When I come home, I'm still working. Anytime I have my laptop is the time I can be working. Anytime I have a paper that I can be reading is time that I can be working. Anytime that I could meet with a colleague or a student or talk to them over the phone over a project, I can be working as late as midnight. I'm 31, so I can't stay up much past that anymore. But yeah, I just work pretty much all the time, and I actually enjoy it. I enjoy the reselling, I enjoy my PhD, I enjoy the work that I do. That doesn't mean it's not overwhelming at times, especially like I said, when I'm working really hard and I feel like I'm putting in the hours and I'm focusing on so many things. It sometimes can make you feel like you're not really doing a great job at any of the individual things just because you're so diversified. Yeah. There you go. Need a little bit of hydration and that'll do. So yeah, I'm having a little bit of a stressful week. I had 2 midterms, and I also have, various projects that are ongoing. I'm presenting at a conference in 3 weeks, and it's not a big deal in terms of I'm not giving an oral presentation, I'm giving a poster presentation, so the stakes are a little bit lower in terms of the amount of people that you're actually addressing with your content. So, I've been trying to get ready for that. I've been trying to support my friend and colleague who is giving an oral presentation that I have, it's a collaborative project, but she's giving the presentation. So I'm trying to make sure to support her in what she needs. I'm trying to juggle all of these different balls between my classes, my research, supporting other people with their research, and then doing these reselling businesses. Again, I said I work on 2 platforms. I dabble a tiny bit in eBay, but I don't know what I'm doing on there yet. And I'm so busy. And I know like being busy sometimes can be like a braggy thing where people are like, oh, I just work all day every day. I try really hard, especially after the past few years. I try really hard to be a little bit more balanced and a little bit more realistic with myself about the expectations I set. So when I have an exam, if I don't get 100, I don't get 100, and that's okay. And in the past, I've been extremely grade oriented, learning, memorizing 100% of facts. But again, I'm 31 years old now, and I'm more realistic in my expectations for myself and my understanding of what type of learning is going to be beneficial to me. So if I don't do everything perfectly, it's okay. I try to be really, really good, but not perfect, because I am a student. So I have an acknowledgement that I'm in a learning process, and so I try not to beat myself up if I'm not perfect. If I'm already perfect, why would I invest all this time and money to get better? I wouldn't, because I'd already be perfect. So this week was just hard though, because I really did want to perform well on my exams. I really did want to have a solid product to present at my lab meeting on Wednesday, which is the poster that I'm taking to my conference in a few weeks. And I just kind of feel like, despite always being very busy, I'm not sure that I'm really accomplishing everything I want to accomplish in the way I want to, as much as, I know I need to be a little bit nice to myself, but I do feel a little bit overwhelmed. So I have been wanting to get back into filming regularly and uploading content regularly, but the things that I'm spending my time on are different than in the past. Like before, I used to film makeup videos because it was my relaxing thing. Right now, I'm way more utilitarian about putting on my makeup. Like, I still want it to look pretty, and I still want to put on glitter and stuff, but I want to get it done in like 20 minutes because I have so many other things that are on my list that I really want to dedicate myself to. My reselling business is extremely important to me because I have a goal of paying off my credit card this year, which if that's not the kind of goal that like resonates with you, or you've never accrued credit card debt, to me it will be a big deal. It will be a big deal, and it'll be a big relief to pay it off, but I can't do that unless I bust my butt with this part-time reselling business. And paying off my credit card debt means nothing if I'm not successful in my PhD program, because if I get out of my PhD program, like let's say I quit or I get kicked out, I would take a clinical job where I could go back to making a salary where I could pay off my debt without having to do this other part-time stuff. So I don't know whether that was a cohesive kind of conversation whatsoever, but I do want to start creating more content, but it's going to have to, as it was before, dovetail with the things that I am doing that are also productive for me. So I would love to talk about my online reselling stuff. I would love to talk about my schoolwork and my PhD, but I won't be able to be like just sitting down to make makeup videos because they take a long time to film and then edit. So I just have to be really focused on where I spend my time and how I do that. So if there is any content that you're interested in that aligns with the things that I'm already doing, let me know if you're interested in learning from me about like what are the worst mistakes I made with either the Mercari or Poshmark reselling. If you're interested in how I balance out my day between full-time PhD student and part-time reseller. If you're interested in, what it's like being in your third year of a PhD program. How do I self-motivate? How do I prioritize my classes versus my research? If you're interested in any of those things, please just let me know, because I would be happy to talk on them, because they align with where my focus is lately. But in terms of just like talking about makeup, I'm really trying hard not to spend any more money on makeup this year. I'm not going to buy things. I have a couple of gift cards, so like I have gotten some new items, but I have not spent like my cash on them. I just use a gift card and call it a day. So yeah, I guess that's sort of where I'm at. If you're curious, now you know. I did just get new nubbins on my teeth for redoing my Invisalign, because I lost my retainers like in the chaos of the past couple years of my life, and I'm getting back into it, which is cool, so I can have straight teeth again for however long that lasts. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Let me know if you have anything to say to me, and I'll answer you, as I always do. And I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Have a great evening. Have a phenomenal weekend. Get out there and be cool. Okay, bye.